Hello there, YouTube. This is Transformers Fan G138, and I'm here with my initial thoughts on Takara Tomi's Unite Warriors Baldigus. It's a play on the name Bruticus, because they were all based on the same set originally. So Baldigus is from the Car Robots, or the Robots in Disguise portion of the Transformers continuity. And he had a whole series of characters, and I'll get to their names in a few minutes. But first, a little bit of background. Pretty cool set, based on the Combiner Wars Bruticus set. Obviously, the Japanese version, because we have Blastoff's mold, which I'll get to that in a minute. But there was a lot of negative reviews on Blastoff originally, and honestly, in my opinion, I don't see why there's so much negativity towards that figure. I think it's pretty good. But I'll get to that in a minute. It's the only mold in this. This and this are new molds for me. I didn't get the Bruticus set originally, so I'm going to go pretty in-depth with this guy. So this is actually the same image that's on the front of the box, and the box is fantastic. It's got a pull up thing, so you can see all the characters in it. Bios all in Japanese. Really nice. I don't have big enough space to pop it on here, but I wish I did. If you want to see the box, go check out my unboxing video that I just made the other day. But yeah, pretty cool. Baldigus. So he's got some major artwork, and I actually went through and read the instructions on this one. I don't normally do that, hardly ever, but it's pretty cool. And on the back, we got another piece of artwork. A bunch of characters from that portion. I didn't actually watch the show, but I can appreciate the designs. I could not get into the show. I found it a little ridiculous. But, yeah, they're all taking a bath, apparently. And then I guess we got the comic relief Kelly up here, who looks naked. I guess if they're in a bath, okay. Weird, but, Japan. We'll go with it. So, this is an exclusive from Takara Tomy Mall. I got it from Big Bad Toy Store. Not a sponsorship, by the way. Just shouting out where I got it from. So, one thing note, like the original release, came with more weapons than Bruticus did. This, they actually included some of the weapons from the Japanese release of Devastator. These are the weapons that came with that, which the US lacked. So, overall, pretty cool set. So, what do we have? Well, we have quite a few figures. I have a list with all their names in both Japanese and US. So, note, in the US release of Robots in Disguise, he was called Runination, which is awesome. And he hung out with basically Scourge. In Japanese, that Scourge is called Black Convoy. And we went and took that and turned him into Nemesis Prime in later series. Yes, you can complain and yell at me all you want that they're separate characters, blah, 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 blah. I don't really care. I like the color scheme, and I like the looks, and to me, they're pretty much one and the same. So, whatever. Alright, so, basically, Japanese names first. We have, I might mess these up, because again, I didn't watch the show. I don't know exactly how they're pronounced. Bear with me. Dolrailer. Shuttler. Green Jeeber. Green Jeeber. There's something fun about that name. Green Jeeber. We got Hector. And Danger. Or Dengar. However you want to pronounce it, I guess. So, in the US edition, we have Mega Octane. Movor, Rollbar, Rotor, and Armorhide. And I guess it's up to you which characters you want. Originally, they're both based on the same animation, but they're also originally two different colors. Like the US release was a lot more grays and blues and gray blues, and the Japanese set was more closer to this. There's a little more camo stuff in him, but I guess they didn't want him to look too much like Generation 2 Bruticus. So if you did, why bother selling him, right? So, and in combined mode, he's got two different forms. He's got specific ways he combines for different missions, flight mission and land mission. I'll get to that. So now that I've talked for 5 minutes without doing anything with the figures, let's actually take a look at them. So we'll start with Mover, or Movor, or whatever you want to call them. I'm going to use the US names for this one. Yeah. They're all the same. Alright, so Mover. So basically, really cool space shuttle. You can flip the head around in the other mode to hide it if you want. And the only complaint I could have is he's very hollow here. But we could, if we wanted to, take his gun and put it up here and kind of fill in some of that. Not perfectly ideal, but with the round bits down here and the round bit on the gun, that could act as some sort of landing gear. Which is kind of cool, actually. This is the only mold I haven't seen in some sort of capacity. So it's really cool to see. Plus we have the holes in the bottom of the wings, which the instructions does not hesitate to say we can add ginormous, huge boosters to for whatever you want. Maybe intergalactic flight, light speed, whatever we want. But basically these ginormous boosters. His wings don't quite support him, but you could do it. Looks weird. You could do them upside down too, so like that. Again, the wings still don't hold them, but you know, I guess it's there. You could technically put them on the top, but you know, whatever. Basically the instructions give us options for these, but they're kind of just there for combined mode. It's kind of cool. The hands at least store inside them. So, vehicle mode for Mover. Pretty cool. So, transform this guy. This is actually pretty cool. The arms, I feel like they could have done better with the arms. But overall, I'm kind of impressed in general with this figure. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this off. These black things tab into the shoulder pads here. Remove the gun first, note to self. So that side. Flip this back. Flip these out, because we're actually going to collapse this whole unit back and down. This whole thing is going to swing up and sit on his back. Pretty cool. His head, you can flat. It's on a fairly loose bit here, but you know, it's not bad. It works. And you're not really going to notice it too much. Flip these up. They tab in on the sides here. From here, we're just going to separate these and accordion them down and tab them into place. We're going to fold these wings on the sides, flip these around. Then we're going to take this, we're going to rotate it up and forward, like so, on both sides. Now, there's a little lip here for the back heel, which is really kind of cool. So you got the thrusters as feet, which is a little weird, but I dig. And he's got quite a bit of posability, and with additional thrusters there that can act as weapons. And being that he's not necessarily blast off, but he's based on blast off, I could see this being a really good blast off figure, as well as a really good mover, or movor figure. or shuttler. Overall, I like the color scheme, and it really works with the original toy, which I don't have. So I'm not going to do a comparison. Sorry about that, guys. So next up, we have Roll Bar, or Green Jeeber, or because, you know, he's a green Jeep. Green Jeeber. So start by removing his Gatling gun looking thing. Oh, and we can take mover and put him in his hands. I'm just going to quickly do some articulation on this guy because we haven't looked at him before. So you got a swivel, ball and socket, little bit of foot movement due to the way the transformation is. We got ball and socket shoulder, waist swivel, which is fantastic. Always, of course. Nah, that looked like it was sitting weird, that's all. A little bit of movement in the shoulder due to transformation, but limited. Elbow joint, almost 90 degrees. In certain art points, you do have 90 degrees due to transformation. And then you got 2 points here. You can actually put something in here or in here. So why would you do that? Well, I suppose you could take one of the guns like this, make it look like a target master type of deal. Or make some flame things from a 3D printer maybe, and make it look like he's shooting things out of there. Or you could actually put some like effects parts in there, maybe like flame things, and, you know, make it look like he's flying. A whole host of options, you know. So set that guy aside. Oh, and he's got full head motion and everything. So Green Jeeber, or Roll Bar. So took the gun off, set that aside for now. I'm just gonna put all the weapons in the same spot here. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of pop this up without knocking it off, because I've done that a few times. We're gonna lift this up so this untabs, swing it around so it's out of the way. Then we're gonna rotate these. This is based on the Rook mold, by the way. So flip these, then accordion these out. I do like these as opposed to the aerial bot style transformation. They work a lot better, plus you have more leg articulation. It just a lot less pieces and a lot less work. So we flip the toes up there, and we almost have Green Jeeber in robot mode. Just have to come back here, relower this, grab the head. This one's nice and tight. Flip it up, and then rotate the head around. Then this whole thing comes up, tabs in, and rotates back and also tabs in. And there we got Green Jeeber, the giant Jeep, comparatively speaking to everything else, in robot mode. So overall, he's based on the Swindle mold specifically. Very cool to see. Again, I didn't have this mold. I didn't get any of the Bruticus sets because I have a Fans Project style one made out of the Revenge of the Fallen version, Generations version of the Energon version of Bruticus. Man, that was tough to get out. I'm sorry. So we got some cool logos on his shoulders, a lot of cool paint, a lot of good paint in a lot of different spots. Really actually does a good justice for this guy. So, knee, 90 degrees, swivel, ball and socket, waist swivel. And we really cool have this like front of the Jeep kind of look on his waist, very Swindle / Roll Bar-esque. Then we have ball and socket arm with extra articulation due to transformation, swivel, over a 90 degree elbow swivel, or hinge. And unfortunately, still no hand rotation, but we do get rid of Rook's nonsensical hands and actually put 5mm handhold pegs, which you can store any of the weapons. Many, many, many weapons that come in this set in. Now these seem to be a little bit larger than the ones that come with them, but if you do it right, you can get them in there. So, yep, you can have some fun with them. Green Jibber. Set him over here. Okay, so Mega Octane. So this is actually really cool. This is also shared mold with not only Onslaught, but with... Wow, I'm really drawing a blank on his name. The Protectobot. The Protectobot Hotspot. Man, I was grabbing my book to look it up when I remembered the name. But, yeah, so we got some really cool things. We can, shoot things with this. Again, this also has the extra weapons on it, which is really cool. You can do all sorts of things. The entire transformation actually uses these like they're on a hinge, but they're actually on a friction peg. And this is weird, but I guess since you're never really going to take them off, it's not really worth worrying about. The inside of this is painted, and this is really tight. And the first time I did it, I had some orange flecks on there. But, again, if you're doing it via the instructions, these are never going to be detached. Just these up here. So, you don't really have to worry about it. Now, the instructions say to leave these out like this, which you can do to get a more, Generation 1, a more, original toy look. But if you fold them down, it really gives it a more, plausible, realistic look, considering, it's orange, gold, and green, missile truck thing. But yeah, overall, I think this is really cool, and it keeps the light bar for whatever reason. I guess it's okay, but it's weird that the light bar is still there. I figured when they remolded everything else, they'd get rid of that, but whatever. Pretty cool, good paint applications. The gold paint looks awesome with the silver. Just overall fantastic looking vehicle. So, transform Mega Octane. We're just going to start by flipping these up. Kind of just separating the back legs here. Untabbing these from in here. You kind of actually have to bend the plastic. But, again, it was designed to do that, so. This is the tricky part. We actually have to fold this up, and then back in on itself like this, and force it to lock into place. Now, we do the same thing on the other side. That gets rid of that double-jointed problem I had when I was reviewing Hotspot. So I'm curious to see if it's the same thing. And we just flip these around so the wheels are on the inside legs. Then we flip down the feet. So pretty cool feet transformation. I gotta say, I really like the legs on this guy. Always have, and I always will. Next, we just grab these, slide them down, rotate them forward, and then untab these arms and swing them all the way down. Next, we grab these and just fold them up, down on themselves, and they tab in there. There we go. Now, we're almost done. They actually gave us leg spurs on this guy, or heel spurs, or whatever you want to call them, so he can actually support the weight of everything else. So, we're going to grab these guns off the top of the existing ones. So we have those guns still resting on his back. From here, we can actually tab that back in there. We just pull down the front chest panel. Come in here. Flip up the head. Nice, bright neon pink visor. So very, very cool. And there we have Mega Octane in robot mode. Now there's a couple other things you can do, like move around these wings so he's got a little bit more motion, if you really want to mess with it. I leave them wherever they're going to be because it doesn't really bother me. So got some cool extra paint app in here. All this yellow, very nice looking. Very much separates it. I really like the visor. He definitely screams Mega Octane. And then, you can give him his dual pistols, or you can even combine the two pistols together from a long gun. Actually, all the weapons combine, and it's a little weird, but they tried to mimic the original, which I guess is pretty cool. So, pretty cool guns, pretty cool everything. Mega Octane Robot Mode. This is going to be a long review, so bear with me. Articulation. Well, a little bit in the foot due to transformation. We got over a 90-degree knee joint, swivel, ratchet. Doesn't limited by the backpack, but still there. Ratchet here. No waist swivel in this guy, unfortunately. But what we do get is pretty much a straight turn head, so he can't really look up. He can look down a little bit due to the way he transforms, but he does have this really cool double jointed elbow, so you can do a lot of cool things with his arms. He's got a swivel built in there, as well as here. The whole arm moves up and down. And of course, if you need to, the backpack moves all over the place too. So if you want a little more articulation room. Overall, Mega Octane, pretty awesome. Next up is Armor Hide. So pretty cool tank. Doesn't roll particularly well. He's pretty much the same as all the figures I got from Lio Kaiser last week. You can check out my review of him. So I'm going to go fairly quick, but, not much different. You can remove the gun, although in the instructions it says you can, but there's no real point to doing it because all the instructions and everything have you showing them with the barrel, which is pretty G1 accurate. I say G1, it's not really G1. It's version 1 of this figure. So fold that up, untab the legs, accordion them down. These slide into very specific tabs. Right up here. Like that. See how those tab in there? So that's pretty cool. So then we're going to swing this whole unit down. Rotate it along this axis. And kind of tab it into place. It's a really weird looking joint there, but it does its thing. So now you can have a walking tank battle thing. It actually kind of looks like the thing out of the trailer for the new movie. So, repurpose it, I guess. Alright, next, we're just going to untab these, swing them out, take this whole unit, flip it down, grab the head, and swing it up. This whole unit can collapse onto the back and tab in. And then we just kind of pull down on these and move the arms into whatever position we want. There we go. Now, with this guy, you can get away with making him look a little extra bulky by tabbing that down a little bit. And what that does is it makes him look like he's got more body than he does. And it's up to you if you want to do that or not. To me, it doesn't really matter because most of it's in the shade or shadow, and you don't really notice it. Again, he can hold all the weapons any which way, however. It's pretty cool. So he's got ankle tilt, weird ankle tilts due to transformation, 90-degree joint, swivel, ball and socket, swivel, waist swivel, weird hinge, double hinge kind of shoulder thing with a hinge, ball and socket elbows, with kind of a weird hinge in there as well. Head is on a regular turntable swivel, but due to transformation, you can have them look up a little bit, but it does look a little weird. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And lastly, we have Rotor, which is based on the Blastoff. Not Blastoff. Oh, wow. He replaced the aerial bot for a little while there. Anyway, he's also similar to Blades and, of course, Vortex. Now, this features 4 blades instead of 2, so you do get a little differentiation that way. Of course, he sports a new head. We do have the missiles and a really cool bright red multi-shot gun thing. So, probably still my least favorite figure out of the set, just because of the way the rotors are. But hopefully we'll be lucky and I won't pick the bad one. Okay, so start by untabbing. Lifting these up out of the way. And we're going to come up front, untab these, swing them around, and tab them into the sides. Next, I'm going to lift this whole unit up, and then this whole thing will just kind of collapse down and untab the backside. Swing these up like every other probable Combiner Wars, except for anything in this set, surprisingly. Tab those in, and then redo this side when it doesn't work. There we go. Make sure that stays tabbed in. Flip these up. Rotate this whole unit around and tab it in place. Come to the back, lower this. Grab this unit, loosen it, put it down, and it tabs into place. Swing around the head. Then put these up here, and then these bottom ones will swing like that. And this one likes doing that no matter which side it's on. So yeah, that's what I don't like about this particular set. So maybe if I do it like this, we'll have a different result. We can hope. Nope, it's just the way it works. I was hoping they were going to fix that, but nope. So, I'm going to bring this down, and we have Rotor with his gun, or guns, if you want to attach any of the others. So, overall, pretty cool. Very much Vortex / Rotor-like. Like the color scheme, it works well. So, articulation, a little bit of foot, just under 90, swivel, ball and socket, waist swivel, but you gotta untab it, ball and socket shoulder with a, just a ball and socket shoulder, swivel above the very heavy ratchet joint, molded hands, and of course, ball and socket head, which can actually look up and down if you want to move the combiner port thing. So overall, not too bad. It's pretty good. So that is pretty much the entire lineup of Baldigus, or Runination. Next, I'm going to be looking at why this is loose, but sorry for the shakiness. There we go. So next I'm going to be taking a look at the combine modes. So now we get to transform all these guys again for another segment. So fortunately, the combine modes aren't much different from any of the other versions of them. And they're massive weapons, which I'm going to slide out of view for now. And let's get into this. We'll start with the legs. We'll start with flight mission mode, which uses Mover and Rotor as the arms, and Armor Hide and Rollbar as the legs. So, take these and kind of just convert him almost actually completely back into tank mode. So we'll reverse everything we did literally 3 minutes ago. Refocus on him so it's not blurry. And kind of just collapse all his stuff back in here. This guy around. There we go. So for combine mode, we're just going to take these and flip this out. We did not do this in my last video because the same mold was being used as the legs. In this case, the other leg will be a little shorter, so we want to make sure we have that handy. Next, we want to pop this up like that. And we're going to grab one of these large feet booster hand combo things. Separate the hand from the foot. Set that aside. And we're going to take this foot. They're symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which one. And we're going to tab. We're going to pretend to tab that in. Bottom here. There we go. And it should move a rocker side to side with a heavy ratchet. So that's really cool. So we got one leg done. Set him aside. Grab the other leg. Move his weapon. Over there. Again, basically convert him almost completely back. Actually completely back into vehicle mode. Flip this back, these up, tab all these things in. Flip the head around, flip this down, and like that. So not bad. Alright, so how do we convert it into foot mode? Well, just take this, flip it down, take the other foot hand combo, remove it, take this and tab it in down here. And lastly, flip this out, and we'll actually come back to Armor Hide and do the same. So Green Jeeber and Armor Hide are ready. I just like saying Green Jeeber. It's kind of fun. So now we'll notice they're about the same height. One on each side here. So next up, we'll do the main course. So let's take out the weapons. Those over here. Okay, so let's see if I remember how to do this. Again, like this the third time I've transformed this guy into this mode. So I'm gonna flip this around, flip up his heel spurs, flip these up. We're gonna rotate these up for a minute. We're gonna rotate these this way. untab all this and kind of accordion it up like we are like originally, like we're transforming it back. In this tab, we're gonna have to bend the plastic again, but it's designed to do that into place. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Then we're gonna fold in the head. Next, we're going to take this whole unit, spin it around. We're going to take this whole unit, flip it up like so. And this whole unit, flip it back around. And this down. As we're doing this, we'll take these and rotate them upright. And fold it flat, so those are sticking out. Now this is the cool part. So we take this and we rotate this down and into place. And we take these and we fold them forward. We'll actually fold those back in a minute. Now the head is fantastically painted all over the place and it is just sharp looking. Okay, so the tricky part with this, we're actually going to rotate this forward. We're going to flip this out. As we rotate this up and over, and this tab be into this tab. So a little bit different from Hotspot. I'm not sure if this is how you do it with the Bruticus set, or if this is a kind of a custom configuration for Baldigus / Runination. So one of the cool things I learned when I was researching this guy, there we go. This guy has had a couple different origins. He was just a new set of characters at one point, similar to Bruticus. At another point, and he's actually referred to as Bruticus from the future, and just upgraded by Unicron. Then these will fold back and tab into here. So I'm guessing that's a Bruticus thing, and not a Baldigus thing. So overall, he was Bruticus from the future, then upgraded, and then they used their powers to defeat Unicron with new names and everything. Whatever version floats your boat. I like him as different characters personally. So I actually like this. I like the fact that this is different from the other Bruticus I have, so it really differentiates the two. So, I'm going to take Green Jeeber and pop him on this leg. Kind of just slide it in like any other combiner. Worst figure. Same with Armor Hide. Or Roll Bar. I like saying Green Jeeber. It's fun. So those are all set. Next, we'll take Mover or Shuttler. And flip. Okay, so I gotta just like take a second here, because this one's pretty cool actually. So we tab these together. I'm gonna flip these back around. Tab those together. I'm gonna keep this whole thing like this. And we're gonna rotate the waist point like this. And, oh yeah, so we flip these backwards and fold them up. That's like one of the coolest things. And we rotate this back, flip the head down and in as we rotate this up and out. And then we kind of just pop this back out and put it on like Donkey Kong. Like that. And we grab this hand and pop it in. One arm. Rotor. Again, remove the gun. Arms out. Flip the head around. Now this is really rough on mine. I'm curious to see if you guys get them. Let me know if yours has this joint really rough. It's like it's not fully clean or something. I don't know. It's good. It still works, but I just found it a little odd. I don't know if it's a quality control issue because it's been used so many times or what. So these basically just fold flat. And honestly, this guy is probably one of the easiest to transform as far as combine mode. And then we can move that so it's kind of out of the way. And we grab the other hand and put it in here. So that's awesome. So we need to readjust cameras and lights. And this is where we'll fold these forward again, so we have access to the ports. Put that in, re-tab that whole arm in, and then we'll do the same over here. This is where it gets a little forward heavy. But never fear, we have very posable Combiner Wars limbs to fear. There, we don't want such a glare on them here. Let's see if we can just adjust the light a little bit more. Over here, and like that. There we go. So we can do some really cool, like, walking poses with them and all sorts of fun stuff. There we go. We can see his legs kind of like walking there. This kind of got knocked out of place again. Overall, really cool thing. You can combine all the weapons if you want. I'm not really going to go through that. You can combine them any which way you want. The official way is really wonky and weird looking, so not even going to do it. I might clip all the weapons on different spots, though, give them more kibble. This guy looks bulky, and I like it. Like, full on, I'm going to kill you look. I totally dig this guy. Highly enjoy his look. Highly enjoy the fact that he'll fit in with the other characters from that era that got updated into classics. Let's see here. But yeah, we got some cool motion. I had him in some really cool poses and self-standing and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just like blundering right now, like completely with this guy. There we go. So we got some pretty cool things we can do with this guy. So a few years ago when they came out with Skybite, I did not get the Voyager class one because at the time I didn't really care. And I also had the BotCon 2010 version. So I got him. And of course I have the Collector's Club version of Sideburn to go with him as well. And temporarily, until I'm sure they will do it at some point, paint Generation 2 Optimus from Titan's Return into Scourge. But until then, I have my Black Convoy from a few years ago's special edition something or other. I have a review on it somewhere. Go check it out if you wanted to. But, yeah, they all look fantastic against this guy, and when we have Voyager Scale Prime to go with it, it'll look even better. So very impressed with this guy. I got one more thing to do. I'm going to go ahead and switch out the limbs so we can see it. I'm not going to go through the transformation because, let's be honest, we're really far into this review. Might as well just axe it now. And here he is in land mission mode. So we have Rotor and Mover, Armor Hide, Roll Bar, and of course Mega Octane still at the center. So overall, not too different. He does have a little bit more stable legs. He is taller, just because these guys are a little shorter. A little lengthier, but beefier arms. Honestly, I like him better in the other configuration, which is the configuration he more often appeared in the show. So, overall, not bad. Out of everything, though, I do think being able to do both modes is fantastic. A very good thing. And this is a very good send-off to the Combiner Wars line, I think. Combiner from a different series making it into the line is awesome. And it's just like, it's not like Skylinks or one of those other weird ones they came up with in here in the United States. This is actually one that was pre-existing in a different series, and it was fantastic that they did it. So, now the tricky situation is I gotta figure out what to do with the Protectobots and Defensor. Because I had Defensor in this guy's spot on my Extended Universe shelf. So, yeah. And in case you guys were interested, here is my Extended Universe shelf. And sorry for the jump there, but as you can see, we have, these are all the characters that have been released in from various different series in the Classics line, or in a line for Classics, or Generations. So we got everything from Transformers Armada, so we got all the way from Hot Shot to Megatron, Starscream, and Thrust. We got some animated characters in here, specifically Breakdown, and actual, not an animated, sorry, Prime, and an actual Prime figure, because they're, until I get one, that one's a pretty good figure, actually. So, those two guys are there. And then, of course, from animated, we have Slipstream, Lugnut, and Blitzwing. Blitzwing just came off my Decepticon shelf, because I intend to get the Blitzwing for Titan's Return, which will blend with the other Triple Changers a little bit better. So, I'm going for those. And then, of course, we have, for now, this Prime in place of Scourge until we actually get a Scourge out of the new Generation 2 Optimus Prime mold, which, not the best mold, in my opinion, actually one of the worst, but it would work really, 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 really well for him. And of course, then we have the others I showed off, including Skybite and Sideburn. So yeah, he really fits in, really fills it in, and these are, again, all classic style figures for figures from different lines. So I think this is a pretty cool shelf, and until I collect some more, I feel like if I did end up getting any of the Robots in Disguise toy line, this is the Ruination I would choose to display in that shelf, just because he actually looks like he should. The original one was based on the original Generation 1 Bruticus, so very limited compared to all the other toys in the line. Those are my thoughts, my initial thoughts on this guy. I say get him. He's fairly pricey, but it's such a good send-off, and like leagues above Lio Kaiser and most of the other Combiner sets thus far. Definitely think this is a masterpiece set in general, as far as Combiner Wars stuff goes. And like I said, I had a few little issues with this mold for the Space Shuttle, but I think it's really cool, and I didn't have one yet. And realistically, I think people blew it way out of proportion the way I'm reading it. Unless I'm missing something huge, which I don't think I am. That mold is pretty awesome. Well, thanks for watching. If you bared with me until this end, I apologize for the lengthy video, but I felt like this guy really deserved it. Thank you for watching, and, you know, if you're interested in keeping up, you can buy my book on Amazon, Knights of Fire. So I hope you do that. We'll see you next video review. Next, I'll be looking at Coulson and Lola.